Emma had just finished putting baby Noah down in his crib, humming softly as she adjusted his blanket. For the past few weeks, he had been sleeping peacefully through most nights, only waking occasionally for milk. But tonight felt different. She couldn't explain why. Just a strange heaviness lingering in the air, as if the walls were holding their breath. Their dog, Max, a gentle 3-year-old golden retriever, had been hovering around the nursery door more than usual. Max was always protective of Noah, always sleeping close, always curious. But this time, he wasn't simply watching, he was staring into the room with a stiffness Emma had never seen before. "Max, it's okay," she whispered, scratching behind his ears. But Max didn't look at her. He kept his focus locked on the crib as if expecting something to happen. Emma brushed off the feeling and left the nursery, closing the door softly behind her. But Max didn't follow. He sat down right outside the door, rigid, ears perked. "Come on, boy," Emma tried again. Still, he refused. She gave up and walked to the living room where her husband, Daniel, sat half asleep on the couch. "Max is acting weird," she said, settling beside him. "He won't leave Noah's door." Daniel chuckled. "He's been glued to that kid since the day we brought him home." Maybe he heard him move. Maybe. But her tone betrayed her worry. They sat for a while, watching the glow of the TV dance across the walls. Everything seemed normal, calm, safe. Yet a faint uneasiness tugged at Emma. It wasn't long before Noah stirred. At first, it was just a small fuss. A soft whimper. Then a small cry. Then the cry sharpened, turning urgent, desperate. Emma jumped to her feet. But she froze when she heard Max barking. Sharp, frantic, louder than she had ever heard before. His paws scraped against the nursery door as he tried to push it open. Emma rushed toward the hallway, Daniel right behind her. Max threw himself against the nursery door again. Emma opened it, and the dog burst inside. "Noah," she called out. What she saw made her heart drop. Noah wasn't just crying. His tiny face had turned red, his limbs stiff. He was gasping. Small, rapid breaths that didn't sound right. It wasn't the normal cry of a baby waking in the night. It was panicked, strained, almost choking. Emma rushed to the crib and scooped him into her arms. "Daniel, something's wrong." Max barked again, circling them, restless. Daniel flipped on the light, and that's when they noticed it. The room felt unusually warm, almost hot. The air was thick, hard to inhale. He walked toward the window to open it, but stopped mid-step as a faint smell hit him. A smell he couldn't quite place at first. Metallic, burning, wrong. Then it hit him. "Emma, get out of the room. Now." He rushed to the wall heater next to the crib. It was normally silent, old but reliable. But tonight, it was humming, soft but unnervingly irregular. A faint, almost invisible smoke line was seeping from behind the panel. Carbon monoxide. Daniel didn't need a detector to know. The strange smell, the heat, the baby struggling to breathe, the haze in the room, it was all wrong. "Emma, the heater's malfunctioning. Take Noah outside." She didn't hesitate. She grabbed her phone, grabbed Noah, and hurried toward the front door. Max followed close, nudging her legs as if urging her faster. Outside in the cold night air, Noah's breathing slowly began to ease, but he was still crying in distress. Daniel ran out seconds later. "Call 911. Emma dialed with trembling fingers. "We need help," she said breathlessly. "Our heater malfunctioned. My baby was having trouble breathing. Please hurry." The dispatcher stayed on the line, guiding them through what to do as they waited. Max stayed glued to Emma's side, his nose pressed to Noah's blanket, whining softly as if afraid for him. Within minutes, though it felt like hours, sirens approached. A fire truck and an ambulance pulled in, lights flashing in the dark. Paramedics rushed forward, taking Noah gently from Emma's arms. "He's breathing fast," one said, placing an oxygen mask over his small face. "But he's responding. You did the right thing bringing him out quickly." Emma's eyes filled with tears, not just from fear but from gratitude. She looked at Max, who sat quietly now, tail barely moving, eyes locked on Noah with unmistakable worry. A firefighter emerged from the house moments later. "You're lucky you got out when you did. The heater's leaking carbon monoxide. Levels are high in the nursery. The dog must have sensed something." Emma swayed, the realization washing over her. Max hadn't been acting strange for no reason. He knew. Somehow. He knew before any human could. As the firefighters ventilated the house, Emma knelt beside Max, wrapping her arms tightly around his neck. "You saved him," she whispered, tears wetting his fur. "You saved our baby." Max leaned into her, letting out a small huff as if to say he'd do it again without hesitation. The paramedics brought Noah back after stabilizing him. "He's going to be okay," they reassured. "He inhaled a little, but you caught it early. It could have been much worse." Emma's knees nearly buckled. She kissed Noah's forehead repeatedly, holding him close as Max climbed halfway into her lap, unwilling to leave his baby unprotected. Daniel wrapped his arm around his family. "We're getting every detector, every inspection, everything," he said firmly. "This will never happen again." Later that night, after firefighters cleared the house and the heater was disabled, they settled temporarily in the living room with windows open and blankets wrapped around them. Noah slept soundly now, safe, peaceful. Max lay right beside him, head resting protectively on the edge of the portable bassinet. Emma watched him, unable to shake the feeling of awe. All day she thought Max was just being clingy or anxious. But he had been warning them, crying, pacing, refusing to leave the door, barking when the danger grew close. He had sensed the silent killer humans couldn't see or smell. "Good boy," Emma whispered. Daniel nodded. "He's not just a pet. He's family." Max opened his eyes at their voices, then nudged Noah gently with his nose before closing his eyes again. Hours passed, and dawn slowly painted the sky in soft pink. The chaos of the night started to settle, replaced by overwhelming gratitude. Emma couldn't stop looking at Max. "I'll never doubt you again," she murmured quietly. Max wagged his tail in his sleep, as if hearing her. In the quiet of the morning, with Noah safe and breathing normally, the truth settled deeply into their hearts. If Max hadn't refused to leave that nursery, if he hadn't barked, if he hadn't alerted them when he did, their story would have ended differently. Much differently. No one would ever forget that night. Not Emma, not Daniel, and certainly not Max, the hero dog who stood guard when it mattered most. From that day forward, Noah never slept alone without Max by his side. And the parents never again underestimated the instinct, loyalty, and silent courage of their four-legged guardian. Because Max didn't just protect their home. He saved their child's life.